So Tera is shutting down June 30th. That is 29 days from today. Tera has a very unique place in my heart because it was a major part of my life. I played Tera. I was actually a founder for Tera. I was there day one when this game launched as a pay-to-play title, a premium title that required you actually purchase it and then pay to play it. To this day, I still have my founder's title. Granted, I don't necessarily have it equipped, but it's there. And admittedly, over the last, I think this game has been out for a decade now. Over the last 7 or 8 years of its life, after going free to play, it has changed drastically from one of what is arguably the greatest action MMOs, one of the most fun games that I have ever played, into a shell of its former self. It changed, it altered, it moved from a 10 down to literally a 1. It has become one of the worst, most poor experiences you can have in an MMO. And I completely understand why Bluehole, the people, the developers behind the game, are forcing Gameforge to shut it down. But at the same time, as this is the last month that it is going to be playable, at least the official servers of it, I feel like I'd just take a few minutes here and, express my thoughts, my experiences, not on what I like and dislike about the game, but more about the things I got to do in it, the things that it helped me achieve, and I guess give it the kind of like a final goodbye, because I feel like they're never gonna reboot this, they're never gonna replace this, and given Elion is their answer to a Tera 2, they're never going to be capable of successfully following up on this. Quick shout out to our patrons over on Patreon. This allows you to directly support us if you're interested. Every patron will have their name appear at the beginning of every single YouTube video, and you'll be immortalized in the MMO genre forever. Back when I first started playing this, I think I played it for multiple months straight. This was a style of combat that I hadn't really experienced in an MMO before, having come from games like Tales of Pirates, games like Perfect World Online or Fiesta, Life. Having a full true action combat experience was something I'd never had in an MMO. And to date, you can argue Blade and Soul has better combat, you can argue Black Desert Online has better combat, but the fact of the matter is, to me, I have always been of the opinion that Tera had the greatest, most fulfilling and impactful action combat in the entire genre to date. Right until this game shuts down, I'm going to stick to that. Now, that was a bit of a learning experience for me, because I'd played pretty much tab target exclusive games up until that point. Games that also looked nothing like Tera looked like. And I know you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I invested months of time into this. I remember how difficult the game was. I remember when you would leave Lumbertown and you'd have to be careful, because I played on a PvP server, and when I'd leave Lumbertown, there would always be players higher level waiting there, waiting for you to just step out the boundary, the safe zone, to gank you and gank you and gank you repetitiously until you either gave up and logged out, or they just started chasing someone else down, and you then had this unique opportunity to make a run for it and attempt to do the quest. These are experiences that I haven't really had in many other games since, and admittedly, they're experiences that I feel like I'll retain forever, and experiences that I don't think I'll ever really have again. But the game, to me, it lasted for several months. I quit for a few years, and then I came back when the game went free to play. This free to play version of the game was nothing like the pay to play version. The pay to play version was a quality title. The free to play version initially, admittedly, wasn't bad, but it was far from what the pay to play version was, and admittedly, it has continued to decline ever since. But I came back to Tera after it went free to play, And I started doing videos on it because at that point I just started doing YouTube, and Tera happened to be one of several different MMOs that I was dedicating the channel to. I was dedicating it to Blade and Soul, I was dedicating it to Tera, The Elder Scrolls Online, Arcade, Final Fantasy 14, and Black Desert, I think. And I think Ion as well. Anyway, I think there were less than 10 MMOs in total that I was covering weekly. Tera was one of them. And to date, Tera remains one of the most viewed MMOs on this entire channel. Going through the list of MMOs that I have covered, Tera videos that I have posted have continued to amass hundreds of thousands of views every year, which went on to show either the interest players had in the game or the interest players had in hopes that the game would improve. Now, up until 2017, I'd come back and forth. I'd played both the premium, the pay to play, and the free version of Tera to quite an extent, actually. And the video series I did on it, which were kind of in the vein of a let's play, were very low quality, but I had fun doing them. And that led me to, or actually rather led Mrs. STIX, who I'm married to now, to happen across the channel because she was actively playing Tera at the time. She went and she looked for a guide on how to complete a dungeon that she was trying to do with her group of friends, and she happened across one of my terrible Tera videos. And I honestly, if she didn't, I would still probably be back in Australia. I wouldn't be here, the channel wouldn't be here, like my life would be completely different. But she happened across this video of mine, and if I recall, it wasn't even specifically pertaining to the dungeon in question, but she found the video, she saw me, and she was like, man, that guy's weird. But, you know, like weird in a haha, he's weird, but it's kind of funny way. So she messaged me, we got to talking over like a year-long period, we met up, got married, here we are. So Tera provided me with the first action combat experience in the entire MMO genre. It was the very first MMO outside of World of Warcraft that felt this high quality. It allowed for me to pursue YouTube by creating a video series specifically dedicated to it. It opened up the opportunity for me to meet the most incredible person that I've ever met, and Mrs. STIX as well. It has a I kid. It has provided me the opportunity to see the game grow and then to see the game be driven into the ground by greed. Like, unfortunately, I feel every MMO succumbs to. Having went back to Tera in 2019, 2020, 2021, and recently in 2022, seeing the population be pretty much completely empty, every zone be void of players, literally no queues popping for anything, no actual new players investing into the game. It's kind of depressing, but it happens to every good game. It always sucks to see something you love be destroyed, something that you invested a lot of time into be destroyed, something that you thoroughly enjoyed turn into something that you can't even stand to see the sight of anymore. But that is unfortunately what Bluehole did to Tera. It is what NCSoft did to Ion and Blade and Soul. It's what so many companies are doing to mobile games. It's look at Ni no Kuni Crossroads. This is happening in every genre, to every gaming franchise, with every company. Tera is just the most recent casualty for us as MMO players. And given Bluehole seems to be of this weird impression that the game we wanted to replace Tera with was Elion that looks worse, that plays worse, that is worse optimized with less content, the fact that they think that that is what we want goes to show you, me, everyone, that there is no hope for Tera or any MMO that Bluehole develops ever again. So this is the last time we will see Tera, and this is the last time we'll get to play Tera. This is the last time we'll get to play anything like Tera. Thus, I urge you to, if you want to take one final look at the game before it shuts down forever and you're not interested in private servers, go ahead, download the game, get your fill of nostalgia, and just say your goodbye, because it's over, it's gone. You guys got less than 4 weeks